everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be giving you my spoiler-free review of The Seven Forges by James A. Moore. So this book, first I want to talk about the world. So the world, Felin. The Empire of Felin is obviously several different kingdoms compiled into one. So you have an emperor and you have many kings. This primarily, the first book primarily focuses on the Summer Palace, where the emperor is, and also a smaller kingdom called Roths. You do have some mention of some other kingdoms, but not very many. There's also another area called the Blasted Lands. It used to be a city called Kowa, which, because of a battle between sorcerers, pretty much just completely wiped out that whole area, and nothing's there. Nothing. It's dead. Beyond that, you have these massive mountains, and they're called the Seven Forges. So the emperor, his name is Pathra. Him and his sorcerer Desh, pretty much they have been sending out parties to pretty much go like find a way through to the mountain, see what's on the other side. Very few, if ever, come back. Pretty much safe to say they have all been unsuccessful, right? We pick up the story with a man named Maros Dulver, and the emperor and his sorcerer Desh have pretty much tasked him with another voyage. We need to fill our maps. We need to see what this area really is, what's really over here, right? And so the sorcerer sends his they're called the sisters. They're three women they're not at some point I would say they were apprentices, but they're a little bit more than that now. Anyway, so the three women, the three sisters, are in the convoy as well. During their travels, they are attacked, and someone comes out of nowhere, right, and pretty much saves them. The person pretty much says to Maros that, hey, we have been waiting for you. Our gods have told us to bring you to the forges, to the mountain. We learn about some stuff going on. I don't want to really say too much because it makes sense as you read it, and I'm trying to do this non-spoilery. We aren't told why. It's just, hey, you need to come with us. We're allowing you to come see us. And so where everyone else had failed, Maros has succeeded. Anyway, so the people of Felin, it's not really explained a whole much about culture and everything. I mean, they have a religion, but it's not it's not huge to the people of Felin. They are it's very peaceful. There hasn't been a war in over 100 years. So safe to say they're pretty lax. Their might, the might of the empire, like its force, is by number alone. They're not like super well trained or anything. I mean, they are trained in everything, but after so long of peace, pretty much, you kind of let things fall back a little bit, right? So here comes Maros, right? He meets these people, and the seven forges, the seven mountains, all represent a god to these people, and these people are called the Sabatalor. They all follow each of the gods, but some pick one or two to worship a little bit more than the others, but they all follow all the gods. And so Maros brings these people, these Sabatalor, into Felin as pretty much allies. They're trying to be allies, and you can see the differences, not only physically, their physical features, but their strength, their wisdom, their understanding of the world. They're just polar opposites. And so Felin is like, hey, you need to be our allies, right? So anyway, and then a lot of political stuff happens. Some very heart-wrenching things happen. And it's a good story. It really is. The Blasted Lands. Sometimes I think it's a winter thing, and then sometimes I think it's like a desert. So I'm not sure if it's a little bit of both. Kind of, like, I don't know how that would work. I don't know. Like, I'm still a little bit confused, to be honest with you. It's not a bad thing. I mean, really, the book doesn't really take place primarily in the Blasted Lands. You don't really need to know. So the magic system. So the Sabbat-Talor have kind of magic. I want to say it's like a kind of like a metal magic, gold, iron, copper. I mean, there's obsidian too. It's kind of difficult, and it does lean very heavily on their gods. But it does make sense as you read. It does make sense. Now, the sorcerer, Desh, his magic isn't explained. Or the magic that he shares with the three sisters. It's not explained. It just is, pretty much. But it's not a drawback at all. Like, I didn't need to know how the magic worked. Not a whole bunch of magic is used. So, to be quite honest, you don't really need to know a whole bunch at this point. I'm pretty sure the first book, as with most books in most first books in a series, it's setting things up. And I believe we'll learn more as the story progresses. Anyway, this book is very gory. It's very, very fight heavy. Some things that happen in this book, I'm just like, what? This is a very, very much an adult book, an adult fantasy. But I like it. I don't know, it's a good book. Anyway, so I rated this book 4 stars. It was going to be 3 stars at first, but there toward like the last part of the ending, or the last couple of chapters leading towards the ending, really pushed me to want to learn more about what happens next. Like, I want to know right now what happens next. And so that's why I went ahead and bumped it up to a 4 stars. All in all, it's a good book. If it's your type of thing, it's not very romance-y at all. Like, there's very little romance in the whole book. You are kind of told what will happen, but for me, I just kind of like, I read it and then I was like, I just forgot about it, you know. I just put it away in my head, and then I just kept reading, and then when the thing kind of happened, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. So I don't know, like, I would give it a try. I will say that it does take a little bit to pick up, like most first books do. It's just one of those things where people will love it, or people will hate it, or people will just be like, eh. So anyway, that is it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Alright, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.